We got Tim, who's been waiting on the line for a bit, who wants to talk to us. Tim, calling from Washington. What's going on?
Hey, Dan. Oh, well, we got a lot of smoke here in Southwest Washington.
Oh, yeah.
Forest fires.
Yeah, I've been seeing the pictures, awful. Man. It's crazy. It's
yeah,
crazy.
I hope you guys are okay.
Oh, yeah. I don't know that anyone has been forced evacuated yet, but we have so much smoke in our town that it looks almost apocalyptic. It's horrible. We're really socked in.
But, well, Tim, I saw from our call screener here saying that you wanted to talk to us about Moses and the patriarchs and whether or not they're mythical, right?
Right. Yeah. I'm excited. As soon as this show is over, I'm going to look for Hemant because I'm interested in hearing what his take is on Genesis. But I'm a Jesus mythicist and a big fan of Richard Carrier and Robert Price. And in their books, they mention often that the patriarchs and Moses and Joshua, most scholars really have finally come to the consideration and agree that they are all myths. They're just made up people. So the Old Testament is just a big story. Well, Genesis in particular is just a big book of fables.
Yeah, I mean, so the scholarship I've read on this, and then I want to hear Hemant's take, I think broadly agrees with the idea that a lot of the patriarchal figures, at least we don't have a lot of evidence towards their like literal existence. We certainly don't have any like original writings from Moses or original writings from, you know, any of the guys mentioned there. The thing about, you know, proving whether someone was real or not is it's with these kinds of stuff, it's kind of hard to do because everything is written from, I mean, we're not talking third hand, we're not talking fifth hand, we're talking about generations of rift between the stories that are taking place and the actual writings of the events. And yeah, there are events in the Bible that are completely made up for sure. It's hard to tell which ones are which and which ones are based on, you know, a historical reality that gets changed after a while. Yeah, I don't know. But if you were to ask me about Moses and some of those guys, I would say, yeah, probably mythical. Jesus, that's a little riskier. I wouldn't go that far. But Moses, I think we could confidently say probably didn't exist. What do you think, Hemant?
I don't have an opinion on this, and that's not trying to dodge the question. It is honestly that when Tim, when you said like the scholars have come to this consensus on it, I don't know what the scholars have said on it. Honestly, you mentioned Price and Carrier. I haven't read their stuff as carefully because it's not the thing I tend to pay attention to. And whether or not they are real and exaggerated or just figments of people's imagination and lore that got passed down generation after generation, it doesn't change what I think about the political issues and the cultural issues that I tend to write about. So it's just irrelevant for the stuff that I pay the most attention to. So I don't have a take on it to support you or to refute you on any of that.
Well, there you go. Well, Tim, what's your take? It's not, I mean, obviously we know that you're a mythicist, but what are the reasons why you believe that?
I think for the most part, because a lot of them have proven, I mean, you know, we know that Noah did not go through the flood 4,000 years ago, because there was a flood that kind of took over the continents 10,000 years ago, and probably the seaside communities were drowned and lost because of that. Thus, where the flood myths come from all around the world, because the coastal communities were probably the larger civilizations, and they were lost due to the flooding by the polar caps melting.
I'll push back on you just a little bit, Tim, because I don't know for certain that we could say that that's even the case either. I think there's a lot of speculation as to where, because we do see, you know, globally, there are different flood myths in different cultures and stuff, right? I don't know if we can like really confidently point it to one single source. Again, we can speculate, but I'm just commenting that I don't share your same confidence, but continue.
Okay. So, but we know that Noah didn't exist and there was a worldwide flood 4,000 years ago.
I don't know that. I see. That's the thing. Like, again, there's speculations as to. I mean,
whatever I've read has suggested the flood as described in the Bible doesn't make sense. The specifications of it and all of that doesn't describe the flooding that we've actually seen, have evidence for right now. So if you're saying that's fictional, I'm right there with you on that one.
Yeah.
So basically my take is, having been raised in the Mormon church and becoming a fundamentalist Pentecostal and ex-gay minister and having a theology degree, learning all of this stuff and finding it and researching it, listening to Carrier, who, I all but worship really, and Price, and doing research outside of them. They kind of springboard me into other resources. And so I just like finding it. And anytime I have an opportunity to at least share my view and share what I'm learning, I take that opportunity. And it's not something that, I don't necessarily, I'm not dogmatic about it, but to a certain extent, I guess maybe I am, but I'm not really, I don't try to push anyone else to believe my mythicist theories.
I'm very curious. Let's suppose you found out there was good evidence on the other side that the patriarchs, Moses, all that, those people, let's say they were real, if exaggerated in terms of the supernatural aspects of their stories. What would that change for you?
I would no longer call them mythical. I would probably just say exactly that. Yeah, their stories were kind of exaggerated. Noah was a shipbuilder, but the flood didn't happen.
That's pretty much where I feel like I'm at with the stuff. I don't care about the subject to delve into it the way Carrier, Price, others have done. It's just not a passion thing for me. Like, I would get bored doing that personally. But also because whatever the answer is, I don't think they're divine. I don't think the supernatural stuff is legit. If they're real or if they're fictional and myths, I don't think it changes how I think about things. I don't think it changes my day-to-day life for sure. So to me, that's why I don't get driven by whether those people were real at some point and just exaggerated over the course of the game of telephone that is religion.
Yeah.
Or if they were actual myths to begin with. So I don't know. That's to me why I'm like, I never get that worked up about this issue.
Yeah, Hemant, if I knew for certain that a lot of the stuff were pure myths, that might rile me up even a bit more. But I'm already doing the work. You know what I mean? Like, I'm already like doing the show and talking to stuff about people. So I don't know if it would change that much.
Yeah, like I don't think it would change the fact that you're doing this show about the way you're doing it. It wouldn't suddenly become like the truth wanted by the way it's all Christian. I don't think it would be the same type of thing, because there is a difference between saying, like, Jesus, for example, existed as a human versus the thing that would change a lot of us, which is he was real and all the supernatural stuff was true.
Right.
Which would, it better change a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's different, right? Like that changes the game, as someone would say. But yeah, I agree with Tim. Tim, I'm glad that you have found a lot of interest in this stuff, and I'm glad you're talking to people about it, because more people, at least, probably my opinion, and probably Hemant's opinion as well, at least need to be having conversations about this stuff.
I've said this so many times. I think the thing that pisses me off more than anything else when it comes to religion in general, I don't care if people are religious. I do get angry when they're apathetic and never think about any of this. Yeah. Because it's like, God, how do you not care about this thing that I can't stop thinking about?
Yeah, for me, it's like, people are like, religion was just never a big deal. And like, oh, who cares what people believe? It's like, what do you mean, who cares what people believe? Like, there's the people that have those beliefs are... Yeah, They're making your policies right now, my friend. Like they're deciding how we live our lives right now. Like that's why you should care. But anyway,
I was adding on to say, Tim, I am with Dan on that. Thank you for being interested in that stuff and for raising those issues.
Yeah, thanks for talking to us, Tim, and always a pleasure talking to you. Hope to hear from you again sometime. And I hope you're doing safe, my friend, because I know it's pretty wild out there with the fires going.